No, I was operating.
Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Savijatam Sakan Raghunatham Tam Sajivam Sadvekam Savadhutam Parijan Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Patam Sakan Lalita Shri Vishakhavitam Shra He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishwanusuti Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you everyone for coming and welcome to our most colorful, beautiful festival of mangoes. You can see so many nice varieties of mangoes for the pleasure of Shri Radha Shyam Sundar and Shimadev and Radha. So before we begin, just wanted to keep one thing. Please keep His Grace Kritu Maharaj in your prayers because his health is. Kritu Maharaj has been here a couple of times at least, and I don't know if some of you were here or not, but he is Srila Prabhupada disciple and an initiating spiritual master in his congregation, and he's he's in critical condition right now. So please keep him in your prayers. Thank you. Okay, so again, before we begin, I'd just like to thank all of you for bringing all these beautiful mangoes and those who helped in decorations. Thank you so much for making them look so pretty. And I would like to thank specifically, because she's not here, my daughter, because she's the one who painted the background yesterday. So also the base, she toiled for hours just grinding to make it smooth for Narasimha's base. The Narasimha's base was done at that time, but then we couldn't do the polishing, so the polishing is done now. So that's also her contribution into that. So thank you. So today I want to talk about Bhagavad Gita, and recently I spoke in one temple, Jagannath temple, and I thought the topic seems to be interesting, and let's continue and discuss more about it. So Bhagavad Gita, I think everybody familiar with Bhagavad Gita as a scripture? Anyone is not familiar? Okay, we are all good. So in Bhagavad Gita is considered to be one of the most unique scriptures. Can someone give me why? Tell me why. Why is Bhagavad Gita unique compared to any other scriptures in the world?
It was spoken by Lord himself.
Spoken by the Lord himself, but isn't like, even if you say Bible or Quran, at least Quran, I know that like Muhammad Paighambar heard it, and like in the cave in Mecca, and he wrote it, right? Isn't it like almost similar basically?
It has all the answers of the questions.
Yeah, that is true.
It's applicable without any religion. It's ever existing time,
Yes,
place,
yeah.
circumstances
It
compared
is.
to the other scripture.
That is very true, that like you can apply it. People think that you cannot apply it in today's world, but you can apply it in today's world, and we have seen it often. How? So that is there.
It happened in the middle of the battlefield.
Exactly. So that's one thing I wanted to bring out. Not that any other answers are incorrect, but that is the one that I was looking for. It's the only scripture that is spoken in the battlefield, where there is like the warriors are raring to go and kill each other, and it's a very unique space for speaking any shastra or any scripture or any word of wisdom when everybody is ready to kill each other. And that makes it very unique. And also it makes it unique because when it is spoken in the war, that means that it is spoken to address a particular concern. There was a war happening, and the war was happening for a particular reason. So to solve that problem, the war is happening. That means that it is a very practical scripture. It's not like elevated in that way that like you can read, you can feel good, and you can continue doing whatever you want to do. No, you can apply that into your day-to-day life, and that makes it the most practical book of wisdom, Bhagavad Gita. So we know all why Bhagavad Gita, why the war happened, and at the time of the war, when the two armies were already assembled and excited, we are going to fight each other, we are going to win. And at that time, chapter 1 of Bhagavad Gita starts with, what is the title of the chapter 1? Observing the armies and also it is known as Arjun Vishad Yoga. So this is lamentation of Arjun. That's in it, if you translate that in English. So this whole chapter is about that. So the chapter starts with Dhritarashtra asking the question to his Sanjaya. My mind is a little bit blank, but yeah. So he asks Sanjaya, and then Sanjaya is describing what is happening in the battlefield. So it starts with Arjun asking Krishna. He says that, Krishna, can you take me into the middle of the two armies, please? Now, one may wonder that, like, what is there to see? You know exactly what's happening. Did Arjun have any doubts that who is going to be in front of him? Did he think that, overnight there will be some wisdom coming into someone and then everybody is going to be changed? No more Bhishma, no more, Dronacharya, all of those guys are going to disappear. No, it's not going to happen. Why would he want, Krishna to, now I want to see him? What is there to see now? You already decided to fight now. So anyway, he asked that question and asked Krishna to do. And Krishna, playing the role of his servants, Sarathi. He says, okay, sure, whatever you wish. And then he takes the chariot in the middle of the two armies. Now, one could have thought that Krishna would put him in front of maybe Duryodhan. If he had put him in front of Duryodhan, then what would happen? He would be boiling, angry, and he would say, Krishna, take the chariot back, I want to start the fight, right? This is. But what did Krishna do? He took him in front of Bhishma Pitama. Why would Krishna do that? Because he wanted to speak Bhagavad Gita, I guess. One of the reasons is that. And the thing is that he wanted Arjun to be clear about it. That, let's face it, this is what it is. You are fighting. Who are you fighting? These are the people you are fighting. And when he went there and he saw his family and his grandfather and his teacher and all of them, then he got overwhelmed. He says that this is not what I expected. In spite of, he knew exactly why he's there, why, they are going to be in the opposition, everything he knew. But yet, he looks at them and he gets surprised. So this is sometimes we get into something very excited, like we want to do this, I think I can do this. And then when you get into that, then what happens? Realization. You just feel that, oh my God, this is not what I wanted. I think this is exactly opposite of what I was expecting here. It's a dawn of reality in you that you just don't know what to do anymore. And so he was also, frustrated. He's not frustrated, but he was very much sad. And he was not able to fight. So he says that, Krishna, I'm not able to fight now. And he gave his reasons that these are the people that I worship. They deserve my worship and not to be killed by my arrows. How can I fight people like that? And in normal circumstances, we would also feel the same way, right? But he should have been prepared, but he was not. So sometimes this is what happens. So at that time, he saw his grandfather and he thought, oh, this is my grandfather. Now, he forgot at that time that this is the same Mahanubhav who could not hold Duryodhan with his hand that sit down. If you are a grandfather, why if you are a grandfather of your kid, you have a right to put your kid down, that okay, sit down and follow the instructions, basically. But he did not, and he allowed, in a way, the disrobing of Draupadi, which was the most embarrassing incident of Mahabharata, right? And the dignity of a woman is being compromised there, and that is a terrible thing to happen. And his guru, who just behaved like a paid servant of the government. So all these people would not do anything, and that is why the war has happened. But yet Arjun is confused, and he says, I don't know, I don't think I can fight, I don't think I want to kill anybody here. And then once the chapter 1 finishes, then Arjun puts his hand, sits down on the chariot, and he says, he puts his Gandiva, bow on the floor, and he says, Na yotsave. What is it? Na yotsave Govinda. That means, I will not fight Krishna. And he sits down, and then once he sits down, then Krishna starts to speak. And from the first verse, he's from second chapter, initially what he does is that he tries to pump up Arjun. He says that you are an Aryan, you are a great warrior. How could something like this happen to you? So he says that, Kutastava kashmalamidam vishame samupastitam. He says, where from these impurities are coming into you? It cannot happen to you. You are an Aryan. You are a great warrior. This shouldn't happen to you. And he says, Shudram, Radaya Durbalyam. He says, this is like a weakness of heart. You are not weak. You should just get up and fight. So he says, Uttishta Parantapa. So then Arjun says that, like these people are worthy of my worship, and I think that, it is better for me to live in this world by begging rather than fighting and killing my kinsmen. So that's his stand. He says that like he forgot that he's not into this war to gain a kingdom. That was not the purpose. The purpose was that he wanted to he was fighting a war where something wrong has been done to the family, to the entire nation, and he wanted to fight against that. So he forgot all that, and he says that, like he says his heart become weak, and he says, I'm not going to fight. So then Krishna says that, you shouldn't be like this. And then in after pumping him, Arjun still doesn't get going, or you can say he didn't want to fight. So then after that, in verse 2.7, which is very important verse, what does he tell Krishna? Anyone? Karpanya dosho uphatsabhavam pruchhamitam dharma sammukhi cheta yat shreya shanishchitam bruhitanye shishyasteham sadhinam tuam parmanam. So he says, I am now your disciple. Please teach me. Please tell me what I should be doing. So once he accepts that, then Krishna takes over the role immediately. And he says that asvachanam anvasochastam pragyavadam shabhashasha gatasun agatasun nanusochanti pandita. He says that you are thinking about asvachanam anvasochastam. You are thinking about something that you should not be thinking about. And you are, pragyavadam sabhasasa. You are speaking very wise words, but actually whatever you are saying is not right. So he says that, and then he starts his, he removes the, from the beginning. He says that, okay, but you are saying that you are going to kill your relatives, but they are spirit soul. They are not this body. So he deals with the identity crisis. The first thing in the second chapter he starts to deal with is the identity crisis. Who are you? Even if you ask to, anybody outside of the ISKCON area and ask somebody who are you, then you will have a really good time. They will say that my name is this. Oh, that's your name. It can go on and on and on and on, and they cannot answer who they are. So this is called identity crisis. So Krishna removed that identity crisis. He says that you are a spirit soul, and so are everybody else. You cannot kill them because the soul is imperishable. What are the verses that he speaks in this way? Anyone can quote any one verse? In the second chapter. Yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tatha dehanta prapi virastatra namudeti. Says just the way the body changes from boyhood to old age to death, the same way at the time of death it leaves the body and takes another body. And a wise person is not bewildered by such a change. So he gives him, the high philosophy that you are a spirit soul. You shouldn't be worried about it. And he talks about how the spirit soul is, you cannot cut to pieces, you cannot burn it, all those good things. He talks about this is called analytical knowledge or Sankhya Yoga, in other words. Okay? But from 2.31, he introduces something new. He says that it's duty. He says, what is the duty of a person? He says, every person has a duty based on the varna that he belongs to. What are the varnas? What are the four varnas? Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. So he says, you are Kshatriya. And for a Kshatriya, fighting is more, you are so fortunate that you are able to fight a war in which you are on the right side. And that even if in this war, whatever happens, this is a great opportunity for you to, to fight this particular war. And then he talks more about, Arjuna had one concern that he raised it earlier, and that was that he was concerned that if I kill my grandfather, I am going to incur sin. So then he says, oh, so sin. Okay, so then he gives the 2.38, which goes sukhe dukhe same krutva labha labho jaya jayo tato yuddhaya ujjashva naivam papavam avapshashi. So that means that papam avashashi. Pap, you are not going to incur any sin if you do not think about whether you are going to gain or you are going to lose. So you just need to be neutral, then you will not incur any sins. Then he talks in the verse 45 about Tre Gunya Vishaya Veda, Nistre Gunyo Bhavarjuna. That means there are three modes of material nature and everybody is forced to act under them. What are the three modes of material nature? Goodness, passion, and ignorance. So we are like puppets who are being driven by these three qualities of the mode. And then he talks about in 2.47, he starts the Karma Yoga section of this thing. And he talks about how Arjun should be doing his duty without attachment to the fruits of the action. And this way you will not incur any sins. What is 2.47? Karmaniya Bhadikaraste Mahaphaleshu Kadachara. Mahafal Karma Hetu Mate Sangosta or Karma. So that's 2.47. He talks about that. So he's taking. So there is a flow in Bhagavad Gita, and that's why I'm talking about all these things. So he took him from the point where he's saying that I'm going to incur sin, I'm going to kill my family members. So he says that but you cannot kill because you are a spirit soul. He takes it from there. But Arjun was a smart cookie in a way. So he was not convinced about that part. He says, but like they are my relatives, and just the way if somebody tells us also, we are going to say the same thing, that like we have a relationship, we are going to miss those people. We can't just accept death as simple as that we are the spirit soul. So he continues to ask. So then he brings in the Karma Yoga. He says that you need to do your duty without attachment. And once you do that, then you will not incur any sins. So okay, that sounds good. Then in Arjun's key concern, what was the main question that Arjun had in the first chapter? Whether he should fight or not. That's the only thing, right? So just keep that in mind and Krishna's answers so you can understand the flow. So in 2.49, he says that Durena hi avaram karma buddhi yogo dhananjaya buddho sharanam anvichha kripana falahitava. So he says that Durehi avaram karma. What is avaram karma? Some of us might know from our Bhagavad Gita classes. These are like inauspicious work. So what Krishna is asking Arjun, that you should stay away from all inauspicious work, and you should take the shelter of your intelligence. Buddho sharanam anvichya. Those who are desiring the fruits of their action are actually kripana. And what kripana means? Miser. So they are all misers. So it says that like we should stay away from that. And then the remaining part of the second chapter, he talks about the Shanti. The word peace or Shanti is used in so many verses after this verse. He also talks about the definition of Sthita Pragya and all of those things in the second chapter. But he, Arjun picks up on these two things. What are the two things he picks up on? The first thing he picks up on is that you need to stay away from avaram karma. You should stay away from any abominable tasks. So what he concluded, that killing my own relatives is actually an inauspicious work. Why I should be doing it? And then he picked up the second thing. He says, Buddho Sharanam Anvichya. That means that you should take shelter of the intelligence. So intelligence, he treated that as the knowledge, yoga of knowledge, basically, Jnana Yoga. So you use your intelligence, you have knowledge, so you use your intelligence. So he says that then as soon as the chapter 3 starts, Arjun asks Krishna. What does he ask? He asks that if using intelligence in doing my task is better than actually doing anything else, then why you are involving me into this ghor, he says ghor like gore means like it's such a bad thing to do, to kill my own grandfather. Why are you getting me engaged into tasks which are completely our own? Why would you do that? And he says, I'm confused now. I'm more confused than before, that you are asking me first of all that I should be peaceful, and I should be staying away from all this, and now you are saying that uttishta, you get up and fight. So like, what exactly should I be doing? Can you please be very clear? That is what Arjun says in the 3rd chapter, first 2 verses. Now, when Krishna talked about peace in the 2nd chapter, he did not mean external peace. There is something called external peace and there is an internal peace. So he talked about the internal peace. Internal peace is, he talked about how the flow of desire is, when it is coming towards you, you get impatient, your peace of your mind is getting destroyed. So he says you should stay away from all these sensual desires and all of those things. So he talked about internal peace, and Arjun thought that he's talking about external peace. So why we are fighting if you think peace is better than fighting? So that's where the chapter 2 ends, and then he asked these questions in chapter 3 that give me a clear-cut answer. Okay. Has anyone any comments or questions so far before we start chapter 2?
Prabhuji, you mentioned that the entire war started because of because the woman was just soaked in an entire courtyard. Now, while Pandav, the Kauravas faced the consequences. What was the consequence for Pandavas, in this entire thing? Because they were the ones who gambled their kingdom and who gambled their own life.
When you look at it from just looking at a TV serial or something, we don't really get the complete picture of what happened during the gambling match, or how gambling match. It was not desire of Yudhishthir to be in that game, and then how he was convinced by Dhritarashtra that no, you should play because you are Kshatriya and you can't say no, and all of those things. He literally managed to ask him to play that particular game. Now, as far as baiting his own wife is concerned, it does sound like that. It does not seem good. Clearly, it is not a good idea, or even the thinking about such a thing is not a good idea. But at times they are actually playing under the Yogamaya. So when we think about Arjun was put into illusion forcefully. He was not like Arjun is an eternal friend of Krishna, and he does not come into illusion, but they are put into illusion. So when we think about it, why did Yudhishthir put Draupadi in the gambling match? More important is like the events that happened before that, prior to that, and prior to that, cheating happened basically, and that cheating led everything to the end. It does not mean that what Yudhishthir did was right, but I believe that we have to understand that he is playing his part in the Leela, in whatever is happening basically, and consequences is there are many things that they suffered throughout their life, so they may have suffered what is justifiably that they are supposed to suffer for, and we can't really treat everybody with the same law of karma that everybody else gets treated. You know who is Yudhishthira Maharaj, right? Yudhishthira Maharaj is the Dharmaraj. Dharmaraj means he is the incarnation of Yamaraj. So these are the devotees of Krishna. They don't come under illusion by simple things like that, but they are put into that situation where they end up doing something that they shouldn't be doing. But yeah, I totally agree with you. That's not acceptable. So, okay. In the third chapter, once this part is finished, then Arjun asked the question, and then Arjun is asking, what is better for me? What is he asking? Is it Jnana Yoga better, the path of knowledge is better, or the path of karma is better? So now when Arjun is asking that question, he doesn't want to fight. So basically whatever he wants to do, he definitely doesn't want to fight. He doesn't want to go for karma yoga. So he thinks that if I am not qualified for karma yoga, then Krishna, you talked about the knowledge part. So if you talked about the knowledge part, then I should actually, can't I follow the knowledge part? Can't I go for that intelligence, Jnana Yoga? Why I need to do this, path? I should be doing the intelligence part of it. So then, at that time, is anybody aware of yoga ladder? What is the yoga ladder mean?
Is it all kind of yoga? Jnana yoga, bhakti yoga?
Yes, but it is the ladder.
Bhakti yoga is the topmost.
Yes, Bhakti Yoga is the topmost. So that is the hierarchy of
Karma
yogas.
yoga, Jnana yoga.
So it starts with Karma Kanda actually. So the first step in yoga ladder is Karma Kanda. What is Karma Kanda? Karma Kanda means you do something in order to get something. I do this is like a transaction basically. But it is still better than lots of other people. Why? Because you are doing a sacrifice. It includes sacrifice. When you say Karma Kanda, it includes sacrifice. That means that you know that I am getting this whatever I am getting, I need to thank someone or I need to do something in the return. So that makes those people very pious. But that is the lowest level of the yogas. After the Karma Kanda, the next level is called Karma Yoga. In Karma Yoga, what you do is that you do your work without getting attached to the results of this thing. This Karma Yoga has multiple levels that we'll talk about later. But the third one is Jnana Yoga. After Karma Yoga is Jnana Yoga. So in Jnana Yoga, you are doing your karma, but with the knowledge and intelligence. So you are just upgrading your Karma Yoga basically. So Jnana Yoga also means, it is understood to be means that you need to take sannyas. Because you know already, when you have knowledge, what does it mean? What knowledge you are going to get? You are going to get the knowledge that this life is temporary and everything is useless, and you need to just worship Krishna and go to the forest. So that's the knowledge you are going to get basically. And if you are going to get that knowledge, that means you are going to take a sannyas. So what Arjun is saying is that I can't do Karma Yoga. Can I do the Jnana Yoga? But then Krishna is pointing out that if you are not qualified for Karma Yoga, then you can't go to Jnana Yoga. What you need to do is, you need to go back to Karma Kanda. So you need to do Karma Kanda. So that is what he instructs. And in text 6 of this chapter, he puts this particular verse, which is the the central point of today's class. I don't know how much we are going to do about it, but it goes like this: Karmendriyani sanyamyam ya aste manasa smaran indriyartha vimudatma mithyachara sa uchyate. So what essentially this particular verse mean? Mithyachar. Anybody can tell me what mithyachar means?
Mithya means jute. Achar means how
Your
you
act
behave.
or your
How you behave.
behavior basically. So it is a mithyachar. So what Krishna is talking about is that if karmendriyani sanyamyam, you are controlling your senses externally, but aste manasa smaran. What does that mean? In your mind, you are contemplating on the sense objects. Then your senses are actually vimudatma. They are illusion, and it is called mithyachar. Mithyachar means you are a pretender. He clearly tells Arjun, you are a pretender. So why is he telling Arjun this? Because Arjun wants to become a sannyasi. He says that I don't want to fight, and in his mind, either fight or flight. So you are going to fight or you are going to run away. So flight. So basically he wanted to go away and take the renunciation. So Krishna is saying that you can't be a pretender. Why? Because like if you are a Kshatriya, even if you take sannyas, what is going to happen? You think that you can do meditation? No, you can't. This is your mind will bring you back here into the battlefield. You have to fight because you are a Kshatriya. So that is something that he makes it very clear. And he says that one cannot achieve perfection only by abstaining from work or renunciation. Just because you don't do something does not make you a sannyasi. Okay? And sannyasi does not mean you need to be idle. Sannyasi is not an idle, like sit and do nothing kind of a thing. And then he says clearly in text 7 that karma yoga is better than jnana yoga. Now, if you think about a yoga ladder, it is the other way that the jnana yoga is better. But it depends on the person. So for Arjun, karma yoga is better and jnana yoga is not good because he cannot perform jnana yoga. So the thing is that like one important aspect that we can learn from Krishna's teaching is that there are the more damaging than the lies we tell others are the lies we tell ourselves. So sometimes like people in India they become a sannyasi. Like they become sannyasi means they wear the saffron clothes. They go, but what they do? Internally they are contemplating on the sense objects, but externally they are showing a face which they are not in reality. So they are not sannyasi, they are not detached from the senses, but they are pretending to be like that. And it is said that like sometimes we tell other people the lies, like that like I can say I'm a great speaker. That would be a lie, and they will not be able, they may say accept that part that okay, maybe he's a great speaker, but the problem is not that. More of a problem is that I am telling myself that I am a great speaker, and that is the key problem that we are all facing from time to time. Many times, we want to sing, and internally what we hear is Lata Mangeshkar singing, right, or Muhammad Rafi singing, right, but externally, the donkey is, making the sound. So it's like, you are telling a lie to yourself, but it doesn't benefit you in any ways, right? So this is very important that like we should not be lying to ourselves. Okay, so it is said that like sometimes people have the intention to cheat others, and intention to cheat others is it good or bad? It's bad, right? It's bad. However, if you are successful in cheating others, it is worse. Intention, then if you are successful, then it is worse. But what is the worst is that if you are successful in cheating yourself, that is the most devastating thing that can happen to you. Is that if you can, not only you are pretending, but you believe that pretension as the true thing, that I am actually a great speaker. And then what happens is that like when people start to walk out of your assembly, then you realize that no, you need to really work on this, whatever you are doing right now. So it is said that the most exhausting burden is a mask. What is a mask? Mask is something that we pretend to be someone else. how many of us truly know what you want in your life? Anybody? Anybody has a clear picture exactly what you like or what you want? Most of the time, either we are, having a social media impact of looking at something and then adopting that as a dream, or peer pressure, or family, this thing that, oh, you have to be a great guy, and all of those things actually make you. How many of you actually went into, the college or university with the thought that I really want to be this in profession, any profession? Like most of the people who come from Indian background, they just are told engineer, doctor, or failure. You see it in Three Idiots, right? Engineer, doctor, or failure. So you can't really choose anything. You have to either do that, otherwise you are failure anyways. So it doesn't matter to anybody. So you don't even know what you want in your life, and every time throughout our life, we all do role playing. We are father, mother, daughter, son at some point. Then we take another role. Then we go to work. Then we take another role. These are all different masks that we wear throughout our lives. And when we do that, it becomes very burdensome. Why we feel when we go home, why do we feel happy? Because then we don't have to pretend. Then we don't have to pretend that I am a manager, or I am an employee, or I am this, or I am that. At home, you are yourself basically. So unfortunately, even at home, many times we are not what we really are. And that's where we need to work on that particular point, that we need to find out, what do I want in your life? We are already past a certain age. If not now, when? When are we going to know? Okay. So it's very important to understand that particular part. Now, one may ask that, what should we do? Like, if we are all wearing masks at different times, we are a devotee, and as a devotee, we are not 100%. At least I am not, pure by any means, right? So when we are, coming here, I'm giving a class here, and if I am not, even following, or if I'm not pure, then should I be pretending that I'm pure, or should I not? I know that you won't ask me this question. I'm asking you this question now. You can take any other example, not necessarily this particular. Like in spiritual world, like if you are in a leadership role, and obviously you are not at the stage where ideally you should be, then should you continue to say that, or continue not to say that you have some impurities, or you should go out in the open and say that I have this impurity, I have this impurity? What do you think? Should we drop the mask? It's a burden. Should we? No?
I
No
think it's
feedback?
important to be cognizant of it, that you have these impurities, but also you have to influence others, right? To get towards this path. So maybe not calling it out 100%, but knowing yourself that that I work on myself to do.
Okay. You are close. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
Depends on time, place, and circumstance, right? Like you can't go out there and share with everybody that you have impurities. That might turn out backfire as well. Okay, this person has been in this practice for such a long time and still
Juta
that
padega,
is-
juta.
and it does not work. So that might be the feedback. Okay, maybe it does not work. So based on time, place, and circumstance, if somebody asks you the question personally, Prabhuji or Mataji, I'm struggling with this. Have you struggled with something similar? Then maybe your life experience could help them. You can open up to them. So it depends on the time, place, and circumstance. Is what I think.
It's very good. Thank you, Mataji. Yes,
Truly, to Mataji's point, I think externally, time, place, circumstances needs the mask many times, and I feel it may be required. But as you just said, that internally, ourselves, there shouldn't be a mask.
very good. So both of you, good. So like combine it gives, yes, Mataji, you want
At
to say
least
something?
in front of your gurus, you should not wear that mask.
That's very true. So I'll just summarize what all of you said is that like basically for a devotee or anyone, you need to have a close circle of at least a few devotees or your spiritual master, and what you need to do is that you need to share your challenges that you are working on, basically the impurities or anything that you anartha, all of those things you should, at the most bare minimum, you must share it with your inner circle, basically. And if you do not have inner circle, then you are the poorest of poor person. That is what I can tell you. This is something is you must have. You must have a circle that you can confide in. You can say that I know that this person is not going to misuse my trust. At least one person. I'm saying at least one person. Where you can remove your mask and be yourself. And yes, like you said, Prabhu, you have to wear a mask at least where you are being looked upon, or your conduct is being looked at, right? You are I was listening to a clip by Kashyap Swami. He said that he heard about this from another philosopher, not from ISKCON, some different nationality philosopher. That he says that I preached and I preached all throughout my life. I have preached throughout my life, and sometimes I spoke. That's it. So, no need to speak, but how you behave is being observed by everybody else. So, to preach, you don't need to speak in words. You need to action. Put it into your action, and then you can. That is the most effective preaching of all. Speaking, usually is heard, and then people go on that. But what you see, you are going to follow those things. So yeah, I can't say for clearly that whether we should remove the mask or we should keep the mask. It's not like one size fit all kind of an answer, but you have to be cognizant, like Prabhu said, right? Like you need to be aware that you are actually pretending this part. The moment you are going to forget that you are pretending, that is the most dangerous part. When we start to believe in the lies that we tell ourselves, that is the risky part. So I hope that makes sense. And I had a lot of things, but I know it's never going to get finished. So some other time we'll talk more about it. So thank you so much for listening. Hare Krishna.
We have some time for questions. Anyone has any questions?
I think there might be some announcements.
Announcements? Okay. So Prabhuji, it was a wonderful class. I think the graph I was feeling, and then it's speak when it came to that mask, my God. Still I have the goosebumps. Thank you, Prabhuji. Say three Hari Bol to Prabhuji. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Thank you. Wonderful class. We can move to the next part, which is the closing kirtan, so everyone can raise. And I think Mataji has few announcements.
कम करना, you have some time.
I think she has one. She has one? Yeah.
We'll dance, we'll dance. Thank you, Natish. This is so much bad. You like it? We'll be looking at it. We'll dance, we'll dance. We're going to dance for Keertan. Where is Dada? See, Dada is here. What is happening? Do we need this? We're gonna sit here.
Say red. Say black. Say blue. Say green. Say red. Say orange. Say yellow. Oh my goodness. Yesterday she said happy birthday. Can they say happy birthday? Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Oh yeah. She's waiting for July 7th. It's already out. Yeah.
Mataji, oh.
Jagannath is still.
I'm so serious. Okay, Rinda, do you want to dance this picture?
You guys have to dance here.
Guys, can we join the circle?
Dance here.
Can we join it? Yeah.